Hi,
Mel, what's going on? How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing terrific.
I'm
Everybody,
super excited.
please welcome on in Mel. She is a total rock star from Mythical. If you haven't heard her before, she's designed a couple different Blankos. So I'll introduce you to her real quick, and then we'll let her take away. Because let's face it, you don't really want to hear from me. You want to hear from Mel. So Mel has done things like design a ton of the accessories. She's done Lolly. She has done Astrid. She's done CabinetMan.exe, and of course, she has done our favorite King Carrot, who has now, I've been told today, Mel, has actually broken 45,000 mints as of today.
I heard. It's crazy.
It really is kind of nuts. Especially, one of the things that happened during one of the dev interviews we did was they said, we have about 50,000 monthly users that play the game, and everybody kind of squinted and said, "Do we though?" And I think now you can officially know, like, yeah, we do have that many people that are interested in the game and are playing it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
All right, so I think we're going to start out with kind of talking about, how did Mel come to work at Mythical? So, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and how did you get into gaming? How did you get into art design? And then how did those two things overlap and lead you into Mythical?
For sure. Yeah, so I think I just had a really good blend of experience. I had interned at Valve, and I was interning for Fisher Price, and I was designing toys for Disney, and I was working on like Disney princesses and all that kind of stuff. So I had also expertise in just like taking these like large IPs and just like cramming them into these like tiny figurine bodies. And I had worked at a couple startups and freelancing, so I was like really kind of accustomed to that pace, and I really liked it. But yeah, it just seemed like a really perfect fit for everything that I was doing, and I was just so fortunate to be able to work here because it just became this like giant playground for me to just grow and expand and just use every skill that I have. And yeah, I get to play with all sorts of design avenues. I get to look into fashion, I get to look into toys, I get to look into entertainment. It's a really good time.
It does. It sounds like an amazing cross section. So, what started your journey on gaming? Because I got to hear a lot about, you obviously you were into toys, but something had to create that early spark that even let you think, is toy creation or is art creation, a possible career choice for me. So, what were your earliest influences that made you want to, come down this avenue?
Oh yeah. So I have an older brother that was just the best older brother in the world, and he introduced me to like everything. Like I love just watching him play any game that he was playing. We played a lot of JRPGs, and like we'd go and visit my grandpa, and he'd just give us like a little bit of cash, and we'd go to this like Chinese store where we like neither of us spoke Chinese at the time, and so we would just buy any game that we would find and just play it, and then the game would be in Chinese, and so we just kind of like got accustomed to just like try everything because everything is great and everything is fun. And not like we were playing Harvest Moon and we didn't understand anything that was happening. I got to play a version of Ape Escape that's not released in the US. And then I was also like babysat in this room that was covered like wall to wall in DC figurines and
Oh,
Marvel
wow.
figurines. And it's just, like everything I know now is toys and entertainment. Like we didn't go out and play a lot, honestly. It's just we were
But
just
it
kind of
sounds like
like
you have
raised
the
up.
perfect pedigree. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you were born and brought up to work at Mythical. From working and hanging out with your brother, playing all these really cool games, especially like smaller indie games, and then being surrounded by toy figurines. And honestly, that sounds like the perfect pedigree to enter into the toy creation. And I got to say, if you're going to create toys, why not create some like the coolest, most rad toys out in the market, which to me is what Blankos kind of represents.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like just the fact that you can just take the same character and you can iterate it in so many different ways, and everyone has different styles. And like I think just from the get-go, I was just like, this is what I want to do. And if I'm not going to do it, I'm going to die. So I worked really hard because this is all I wanted to do.
That's really cool. So, and you told me an interesting fact the other day. What was your degree in university?
I have a furniture design degree.
Furniture design. So
Yeah.
you're very hands on, as well as being digitally and artistically. gifted, you actually are hands-on as well, which I think that's super cool. I mean, that's a very well-rounded set of skills.
Yeah, no, I started in industrial design, but I didn't.
Somebody told you, go make money. You can't make money with toys. They were like, design something that is functional that people can use.
That's really what it is. Like everyone was like, you should go and do something that makes money. And I was like, but I want to have fun. I want to have fun for the rest of my life. And I want to spend every single second of my day having fun and sharing that with other people.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think it's cool. You obviously you learned a lot of great skill sets along that path, and you were able to still put it all. You combined the technical learning that you probably got from a university degree like that, and combine that with all that artistic ability you had, and look where you are now. So I mean, it really seems like each step was really like a great journey for you to end up here with the Mythical team. So tell me a little bit what it's like to work for Mythical, because I know there's a lot of people out here. We all assume, I'm sure some of you guys have seen like Grandma's Boy or these other movies where somebody works at a gaming company and it looks like the most fun I've ever seen in my life. So is that all like movie Hollywood nonsense, or is that for real?
I mean, I don't want to speak for like everybody. I mean, I have a blast. I love working here. But I think I'm really, like, I have a great team, like, and kind of like what they say, like you're not really anything without a great team.
Yep.
I know a lot of people sort of complain about crunch, but like everyone here is staying up all day and all night working on this because they want to. And like I have a really great boss and I have really great producers who are always telling us to take a break and go to bed, but we're like, no, because we would just feel so dumb if we put something out and it wasn't perfect, or we knew that we didn't spend all of our time working on this. And the fact is, like, we all know that you guys choose to spend that time with us. We know that you guys are choosing to play Blankos versus anything else during that time. And so, like, of course, we want to make the best thing, and everyone is on the same page here about that. And the best thing about that is that, like, I think every company has people that are really passionate about what they do, but not every company rewards that. And the best thing about Mythical is that I'm allowed to care. I'm allowed to get really passionate about something. I'm allowed to like let something in a design bother me, and I can go to another teammate and we will spend hours just ticking things back and forth just to make it right. And I'm not even talking about like one employee. I'm like I have many coworkers that do this with me, and it's great.
Well, it's really cool. I mean, like you said, there's a lot of different games that players can choose to play, and especially when you get into the free-to-play market. So, I think it means a lot to probably all the people watching right now to hear that, our passion is something that is driving the dev team to work harder, because, you see how much we all care about the project, and then that just kind of in turn makes you guys care even more. So chat, you're doing a terrific job. You guys are literally the fuel that they are running on. So keep it up. Keep all that positive feedback going so they all know how much you love the project, and maybe we can get them to work even harder. All right. So you told us a little bit about Mythical. You told us about how you got here. You told us a little bit about what it's like to work for the team. So let's hear a little bit about the design process for Blankos, and maybe that'll be a good time for us to kind of look at some of the different design art and the concept art.
Right. So yeah, these are all the dreams of what could have been. So yeah, we will kind of just spend like a couple days just exploring different accessories. Once we have the skin, we kind of already decided that we wanted a monkey, and specifically this monkey. And sometimes like the colors aren't like pinned down yet or anything like that, but we do start exploring accessories so that we can send them off to TKG and have them modeled, or have a 3D modeler in-house do it. But yeah, like we try to do a couple different things for your neck, for your head, for wrists. And, as you can see, like not everything gets used. Yeah. But, we just try to get as weird as possible. And, personally, I try to work as late into the night as possible, just because that's when my brain gets weirder.
So you try to like really get into that weird phase, and you're like, all right, cool, let's like really get some wacky stuff coming on now. So you wait till you're extremely exhausted?
Oh, yeah, but it's So the fun part about my job that I think is different from if I was working at any other company is like my job is like also to make people laugh. And so I can't just do the obvious thing or do what looks good. Like I have to throw in some things in there that like I'm hoping that when I get to my meeting that it's gonna make people laugh and it's gonna like give people a good day. Like that's a good day for me when I can make other people laugh with whatever art I'm doing.
Good vibes only, chat. You heard it here. Good vibes only.
Yeah, pretty much.
So on the sheet, do you got any favorites? I'm looking at that banana sniper. I saw Blue said the same thing. I'm like, yeah, that banana sniper with a little scope on it, and it's got like the grip. You can see like the finger grip in the banana. I'm like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, no, oh, man, I really want like it is really nice that there are times where I'll just sketch something and it blows up into this whole other thing. Like for Christmas, I think maybe even last year, I had sketched out the snowball fight done.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that was like a year ago, and we were like, "That's really great. We should do it." And then we didn't have time last year, so this year we got to like mock it up. We got to put the headpiece on. But like when I sketch a gun like this, it kind of spirals into a bunch of different pipelines. But it doesn't mean that it's not worth it. Like sometimes someone will go, "Hey, we really love that. Let's do it right now. And if we can make it happen, then we'll make it happen." So we do try to get as like weird and interesting and as fun as possible. But there are other things that are just funny and just fun to have, like the banana clava, which we all just screamed about when I showed it off. So that was immediately going in.
That's so cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like sometimes it takes a couple tries.
I like the brown one. Right. The rotten banana. That's great.
Yeah, I was like, I could do like a round banana. I could do like some meat because like they're monkeys, they're apes. We could do like a caveman spin-off. There's just like a lot of directions that you could go in when you just have an ape. It's a pretty open prompt. We could make it. So yeah, we could go more caveman. We also did some sneakers. So cool. We're like, we could do that. We could go more street style with it. We could. Or we can make it look like a luxury brand shoe, or we could give them a jetpack. And what if the jetpack was just a giant banana? What if the jetpack was a banana, but the peels fell off and then it became wings? And then what if they flapped? So it just gets weirder and weirder the more you layer on, and it's just a fun time,
So you guys sit there and just kind of brainstorm everything you can.
Yeah, just
that's
dig
so
in.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's check out the next one you got for us.
Yeah. So the next one
is going to be Amazon Prime drop skins.
Yeah. So this kind of gives you an idea of just how we design the color palette and how much work goes into just designing the color palette. Because it's not always like a set thing. Like a monkey is a certain color, but there are also like immediately in your head you think monkey and it's a certain color, but there are also all these different kinds of monkeys. Like my favorite monkey is the golden tamarin monkey that's like super tiny and cute. And so we just sort of explored a bunch of different colors. We're like, what if it doesn't even look like a monkey color? What if it's just a neon monkey? Maybe it's super Blankos out. We're like, everything the world of Blankos is just neon colors and gem tones. Why don't we play with that? Why don't we play with stripes of highlights in the hair?
Oh, cool.
What if we get the hair longer? What if we get sparkles? Like what could we do to really like give it that oomph? But you're not even just playing with that, you're playing with like the sort of like design theory of it. Like, is it too complex? Is it too simple? Like, is there a gag that we can do with it that's just kind of like a light gag that's still aesthetically pleasing? So it's a big old balancing act. And then after that, we have to think about gumballs. We have to think about colors and how is it going to look when you start mixing random colors into it? And like, what's sort of the rhythm of these colors that have to be there? Because what's really nice about the design that we settled on is without that stripe, kind of almost anything kind of works with this clean of a design.
Right.
Because it's so clearly like, here's the hair, and then you have like this rhythm of this pink here, and pink here, and it's not too cluttered. It just nicely frames the Blanko out. So.
I gotta say, those long hair ones are looking primo. Yeah, I'm not biased or anything, but you know.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it was definitely something we thought about because when I got the prompt, you know, I knew it was going to be for Amazon. I knew a lot of people were going to have it.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't know it was going to be 45K. Y'all are crazy. But you know, what's like the easiest way to stand out in a crowd? It's by dyeing your hair. And we have gumballs in the game. It's a really great way to encourage people to interact with the game, interact with the mechanics that we've all like really worked hard to create. It's also a really great way for people to feel like they're part of the universe because like the first sort of moment that I feel like I've emotionally connected with the game is when I get to put that like one touch of personalization, whether it's an accessory or it's like I get to choose the hair color. So like this is my character. I don't care how simple it is. Like that's just the first moment where I feel like, oh, this is mine and I'm part of this world and I own a sort of existence in here. Um, and like I just think that entire experience is very inviting. And for me as a concept artist, that's I like to take into account all the sort of like I guess marketing things when I design things.
No, it's cool. I mean, I think you kind of hit it right on the head when you said, you know, players want to relate to their avatar. I'll paraphrase, but I mean that's exactly what I want when I play a game. I want to relate to my character in some way. And most of the players and viewers that watch me play, they know that like I strongly relate to a couple different characters. And then pretty much, if you see me in the game, I'm always one of these like handful of characters. And although I have, you know, over 100 different Blankos, I've identified with a few and I'm like, no, that's me in the game. That's like when you see that one, I want you to think of me. So it really is cool to know that, you know, that is my desire. And on the other end of this, that's exactly what y'all are focusing on, is helping players create that individuality where, you know, we can come into a game and represent ourselves. Because, you know, I mean, the world is what it is. And when you come into the digital world, you get to make the rules. You know, they're no longer the set of rules that confine us in the physical space. So now it's like, I can be anybody. I can be anything. I can be a purple monkey. I can be, you know what I mean? Whatever your imagination lets you go to, you can do. And Blankos really scratches that itch for a lot of us, I think.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like I think a lot of people like talk about gaming like it's like this like weird, like frivolous, like waste of time, but it's not. It's something that's very deeply personal
Mm-hmm.
to a lot of people. And like, you know, you spend a lot of time on it. You relax with it. It's like that's where you like mentally kind of call home. And like I'm not in finance, I'm not in live ops, I'm not in any of these other things. I don't have to like worry about money. I just have to worry that it's successful. So my job is to maximize how much fun people can have for like as little work as possible, and then
I
we can
like
work
that.
from there.
That's a
And
good.
like,
That's a good mile. That's a good metric. Like, did you do your job well? I don't know. Did people have fun? They had fun. Then I guess I did my. I like that metric. Maybe I think we're gonna start using that on my channel now. Like, we're not gonna worry about views or followers. Did everybody have fun? Then it was a successful day. Because no, I mean it. That's a really good metric. I like it.
yeah.
All right. The next one I have up is Tfue props. You want to show that one?
Uh, oh yeah, the Fatui. Yeah, sure.
I don't know what these are, Chad. I've never seen them. Oh, what is this?
So this is concept art for the first time user experience that we had. These were props for the tutorial. It was something that kind of
Uh-oh.
like paired up for a little bit. Yeah, it's not there anymore. But you know, you
I
guys are still
don't know. People are
enthusiasts.
upset. People, I've heard Chad's a little upset that the tutorial is missing. So Chad, don't get mad at us. We didn't take the tutorial away. This is just stuff from it.
No, I mean it's. I think people on the team will be happy to hear that because we worked really hard on it. It didn't entirely like work out, but the nice thing is that we are thinking about like taking a lot of the props that were in the tutorial, and we would like to give these guys or give these things to you guys so that you can build levels with them because we did build all of these things.
Right, right. Oh, that would be a really cool use to give them. That would be an amazing, amazing way to salvage all those assets. Yeah, yeah. Blankos Junction. Somebody just suggested in chat. They said make them build accessories.
Yeah, no, that's what we were planning on doing.
That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it was like a whole thing. Like I was like storyboarding for the first time to make this whole thing. Like come together, and our level designer was like creating the skeleton of it, and
I thought
was
maybe you looked at
over it.
his workshop to figure. I was like, when I first saw the tutorial, I was like, is this your workshop, Foreman? Because this kind of looks, because he streams, so he can see his little workshop, and
Oh.
I was like, this looks like your workshop a little, buddy.
No, actually, I didn't specifically look at his. I really should have, because it's very similar to a lot of the ones that I looked at. I looked at a lot of tables that like my friends had. Like I asked for personal photos that people had of their workspace, and I wanted to see the mess. Actually, if you go to the next page, you can see like what the actual concept art actually ended up looking like. We did a couple different colorways, but this one sort of shows clearly like what at least like the bottom of the desk looked like, because we weren't just concepting like what the table looks like. We're concepting like this whole man's life.
Whoa. Is this the one here?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, like to me, I'm like, man, can you guys make these prints available so like I can buy and frame one and hang this in my house? That's beautiful.
I wouldn't be upset about it. You're gonna have to probably ask someone about that.
Come on, powers that be, John, make it happen. We're ready for merch. All the Blanko folks are ready for merch.
But yeah, I mean, Charles wrote like this amazing story, and it just gave me so much to work with, and we would just sit there and talk about like who this person was that was making all these Blankos, and like what he wanted, and what kind of stuff does he just have lying around, what were his influences, why does this world look like this, like why is he so excited about it, and we're trying to explain that sort of like outpouring of excitement through hoarding almost. Yeah, it's almost kind of like where like my furniture design experience comes in, because I'm just now a mental library of like objects and where they exist in history and why they mean things to people. And so this was just like me just pouring all my college education into this, because you know, like I was like, I want this specific desk, and I want it to frame it this way, and because I wanted to suggest like this sort of like income, and I want it to suggest this kind of interior. You know, it's all very sort of thought out and meant to suggest a lot of things to become very real, and taking all those things that sort of emotionally connect, at least with me or people on the team, and then putting them into a world and sewing them together and hoping that they connect with other people when they like poke around and see.
So I'm hearing deep, deep Blankos lore. Guys, look for those conspiracies. Look, anything your brain can dream up, Mel's probably thought about it and cooked it into the design. So like really dig into them, guys. All right, should we move on to the next one? Quick cosmetics or rocket launcher? Those are the last two I got.
Okay, yeah, let's do the quick cosmetics.
All right. Whoa. Wow.
So Quicks was super, super fun to work with. This is definitely like one of my favorite collabs that we've done. And like just the amount of teamwork that went into this was just insane. And the amount of just like minute tweaking was nuts. And this was one of those moments where I was like, I'm so lucky to work here. This is like so much fun. But a lot of Quicks' brand is like based on mechas, and so we were looking at like old 80s footage on YouTube of like all these like 80s animes and like
Voltron or
Gundam.
And,
right, and if you look at like the special effects, like that's what we were trying to imitate. So when you like when you take off and the wings,
sound
like,
effect, ching, it's so good, it's so good, it really is.
Joe and I were like freaking out about it.
How was it working with Quicks? Was that kind of like, you know, like as someone who's wanted, you know, aspire to work in the toy industry, how was that getting to work with some of these like, you know, just prolific designers?
So it's actually kind of similar to like toy industry stuff, where it's like I don't actually get to talk to Quicks. And I don't actually get to talk to Disney. I don't.
Right. It makes sense.
Like we sometimes get feedback depending on the collaborator, and because like there are people above me who are better at talking than I am.
Nonsense.
But
you're doing great.
Thank you. but yeah, I'm just a very excitable person. So yeah, I assuming that he checked off on all this because it's out there. But yeah, like this particular design that we made this jetpack for was inspired by his flag, and so the wings are supposed to be like evocative of the rays that are on the sun and the
Right.
flag, and just the shape of the jetpack was always meant to look kind of like a hoodie, so it keeps that silhouette. So you're replacing one for the other when you put it on. Um,
Oh, I
and then the
see.
idea was that it would just like unfold like a mecha and then just become this giant thing that explodes on your back. And yeah, it was just, it's a lot of fun.
It's pretty wild. It's honestly, it's like one of the most wild jetpacks in the game. And I
Yeah.
think we've seen a little bit from Josh Foreman has kind of let us know a little bit more about like the hover mode and like the changes that are coming to the jetpack. And it looks like that's going to be really cool because that one kind of already does like a little hover, but I think when
Yeah.
that mode kind of goes full on, some of these jetpacks are really going to stand out. And I feel like this is going to be one of the ones where like I think you're going to see somebody like try to create a Mandalorian or something, you know, like someone will try to create a Blanko just like that eventually.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, no, actually, when we designed this, like I had some requests, and our VFX artist, Joe, also had some requests, and that's when we were really like, we really need to specify like the difference between flying and hovering, and just kind of like pressing the button and just like doing a little burst. Like we need to have different effects for it, because we want that anticipation and that sort of release as it opens up and unfolds, because the whole point of these things, you know, it's toys that come to life, it's everything that happens in your imagination when you're playing, but we want to put it in a game because we can now.
Right. Yeah. Like why have it just flash and it happen? Why it should look like a transformer unfolding just like you would when you were a kid. You unfolded it and that was part of the fun was like watching it transform. So I think that's
Yeah.
really cool that that type of level of detail is put into the game.
Oh yeah. No, there are actually toys that can actually kind of do that now. Like there's a really cool Teen Titans toy that I saw when I was at Fisher Price. So like you press a button and it actually like refolds itself and it doesn't like get itself stuck on like its joints. I'm like, wow, toys have gotten so much better. Like the magic
Oh,
wands actually work.
I'm old school. I'm old school. I need to be the animation behind the toy. It can't fold itself in and out. That's new age. That's young kids these days. God, you gotta have the hard work because it was like honestly, there were some Transformers out there that you would like open them up and you'd be like, I have no idea how to get this thing back
Oh
into its
yeah.
original shape. Yeah, no, so that was like part of the pain of like early Transformers and stuff. But I understand. There's always something better and greater coming out.
Oh yeah.
All right, shall we look at the rocket launcher?
Sure, yeah.
All right, last one. And here's the rocket launcher. Now, this is to me, this is like one of my favorite styles of looking at artwork. To get to see those early sketches with like all the scratchy lines and everything, like I absolutely adore getting to look at stuff in this manner. Because
Yeah.
I feel like you know you're this is like the equivalent of like seeing the gears turn in somebody's mind and getting to understand like you know how does that creative process work. So you're really getting the peek behind the curtain with this one. So tell us all about the rocket launcher.
Yeah, so sometimes like I don't know if I'm sure other people have this, but like when you have an idea, it's like a feeling. Like you can feel the object in your
Click.
head, but you can't draw it. Um, so this is a very clear example of that. Like I knew the scale that I wanted. I could like feel the weight of this gun that I wanted to draw, and it was so much bigger than anything that we had ever made. Also, and so this is also another example of like I'm just gonna draw something and just hope that my team does it. And if they like it, maybe they will. But this is also the only version of the rocket launcher that I put out. Like there's no smaller version. It was just always going to be huge. And so played
And it
with a
should
couple
be,
different
right?
types.
Like it just
Yeah,
it
right.
should be, yeah. Like when I think of all the toys and comics that I grew up reading or playing with, like there was, you know, anybody who was like that tanky character that had something like that, it was big. It was large and in charge to let you know this is a serious weapon not to be messed with.
Right. It should feel the way that like it sounds, like
Yeah.
beyond all reality. Like, you know, you want to embody that feeling when you're holding this gun. Like you want to like see it at the top of the hill and be like, that's it. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna get it because it's huge. So yeah, it was a lot of playing with different shapes, playing with a lot of different like levels of fidelity and complexity, and just trying to see like what's going to read right, what's going to feel like Blankos, what's going to make it look fun and exciting, but also kind of dangerous. And there's also just a very fine line of like danger that we kind of ride in Blankos, because we're not trying to be Doom.
Right. No, yeah, I
But
got you.
but we want a little bit of edginess, and we want that sort of like ridiculous kind of fun, kind of like Worms, I guess. But yeah, this was really fun to make. We tried also a bunch of different handles, even though like you barely see the handle, like, you know, like we go through all these different iterations just to like get it like just right.
No, yeah, it does. It comes out super cool, and I mean, with that edginess, I don't know if you follow Tank Girl at all, but like it kind of reminds me of like a more cartoony version of Tank Girl, you know, somewhere in that realm of things. So that's why I'm like
I
that
look at that.
artwork.
That's a great reference.
That artwork is like super special to me. I mean, I liked Tank Girl, and of course, I love the gorillas. So when all that artwork kind of kept coming along, that was always been something for me. That when I see anything that has like similarities to it, I'm always like super excited to see artwork that, you know, either looks like it may have come from that same camp, or, you know, is a derivative of it of somehow or another, or possibly inspired by it, even if only to a small degree. I really, really like all that type of work. So I thought it came out super cool. And I mean, I grew up playing like Mega Man and all the old school NES games, and like that was, like the X Buster, like his cannon on his hand was like this big, goofy, giant, heavy, clunky
Yeah.
metal weapon. So like, yeah, I think a lot of us came up with those types of design elements in game. And I think Blankos does a terrific job of marrying like early old school toys and games and marrying it to like this new edgy modern, new age gamer that exists now, where it does both very, very well. It's really cool.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. The really nice thing also about working here is it kind of brings me back to like, it forces me to look at all the stuff that I loved as a kid. So like, yeah, I have been watching a lot of Mega Man. I've been watching a lot of Megabots or Metabots. Yeah, I didn't have cable, but I got to watch a lot of stuff still. So they still are good. I got all like the 4Kids TV anime.
It's cool. That's cool. All right. Let's see. What else do we have on the docket for today? All right. So let's ask some carrot. Let's go back to King Carrot. This is a day to celebrate King Carrot. And just so everybody knows, today is actually your last day to grab King Carrot. So if you have not claimed yours yet, make sure you jump on board and claim your King Carrot today. See if we can get that number to 50,000 by the end of the day. I don't know if that'll happen, but that would be pretty amazing if it did. So let's see. I mean, what was your first thought about the amount of King Carrots that were actually minted here? Like, does that kind of blow your mind? Just like the sheer number, considering that I think Clown at like 12 or 13,000 was one of the most minted Blankos to date.
Yeah, no, it absolutely did, especially just because, like, like there's so many other people in the ring that are just so insanely talented, and it's honestly a little bit intimidating because they're just so good. And yeah, no, I was really surprised. Like, it is free, and it is a collab with Amazon, and it's actually been really nice that it did well with Amazon Gaming, because it's kind of like reiterates that, like, it is a game, because we did all these different collabs with luxury brands and sport brands, and we've introduced Blankos to so many different crowds in so many different ways. It's kind of nice to come back at the end of the year and reintroduce it just in a gaming setting, and then see it do really well. And then we have all these new people, and I see all these monkeys running around, and I think it's like the most used and unboxed Blanko right now.
That's
Like,
crazy.
yeah, it's the Blanko that's being used the most in parties. And it's really just not usually the case. I know that it's free, but it's still usually not the case with a lot of Blankos. People don't unbox their Blankos a lot because they're afraid
That's
to
right.
lose its value, but there's so many of them out right now, and people are all like, you got yours in different colors. Everyone's doing exactly what I dreamed of. And the other thing is, like like the one thing that I've been like waiting for on social media is I'm just like waiting for that like rainbow picture of apes. Because I love Power Rangers, I love magical girls, I love anything that's like a collection of things in multiple colors.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Like I watched a lot when I was a kid growing up. It was on every day before school, Sailor Moon, every day. So
yeah.
like I'd wake up and I had this like tiny little, I don't know, it must have been like a 12 or 18-inch TV in my room that my parents had got me for Christmas one year. And you know, I'd wake up and I was just a kid, so I'd like turn it on and my mom would be like, get out of bed, come on. I'd be like, all right, all right, all right. As soon as Sailor Moon's over. I was big. Sailor Moon and like Dragon Ball Z were like some of my big shows that I would watch like all the time as a kid growing up.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that's such a good show.
But yeah, Sailor Moon had that way where it was like they all kind of had a similar outfit, but it was different in colors, and then there would be some like other subtle differences to them. So yeah, I think a lot of those early shows kind of were reminiscent of that, like multiples of like the same identity, but then different color schemes and different design schemes that like reflected the personality of that character.
Right. And I think it also just it was kind of tied to the fact that a lot of these shows were made to sell toys, and so it was very easy
Yeah.
manufacturing wise to make the same mold over and over and over again. Like if you look at the old school Sailor Moon dolls, which by the way I had all of them.
Oh really?
So I know they all have
That's
the
cool.
same mold, same legs, just different hair and hair colors. Um, but they're nothing like the dolls that people have now, where you have at least like different molded heads and everything. It was like a cost and manufacturing thing. But you get to apply kind of the same situation in Blankos with this specific toy, where it's it's the same toy, it's the same mold, but it has a different personality now that you've changed its color.
It does. It does. So speaking about the design, can you tell me a little bit how you know, how did that first inkling of an idea, you know, it's like, hey, we're going to partner with Amazon. Like, what was the first bit of direction? Like, how did y'all start down the avenue of, we're going to do a monkey? Like, where were the early design and inspirations for King Carrot?
I think I just thought it was funny. It's really, I've been really deep this entire time. Really, this is it just, I don't know. I drew it and it made me laugh, and it seems like it was a good fit. Amazon also sells like bananas, I think. They have little banana stalls. Seemed like it was the right thing to do. And just kind of kept going. I basically just showed it to Kate and I was like, isn't this funny? And she was like, yeah, do it.
That's so cool. I mean, it's funny because, you know, you nonchalantly think up this idea and then ends up becoming one of those widely minted Blankos of all time. And I have to assume that if it had been one that a lot of people didn't like, even though it's free, and if it had been something that the larger community wasn't crazy about, I don't think it would have seen this popularity that we have seen. Because I think, you know, I mean, everybody talks about aping in when they talk about, you know, crypto and blockchain projects. When you're going to like buy all in, you say, are you going to ape in, you know, because that has just really become part of blockchain terminology is the monkey, the ape, you know, that whole lifestyle. So I think it was great for it to be the biggest one. I think it was pretty cool.
Yeah. No,
And
yeah, it definitely like has all those things. Like, you know, like the more that we did think about it, we're like, yeah, this checks out. This makes sense. This is all good stuff. And I think it's also just kind of important to pay attention to like what, again, like you emotionally connect to, because someone else will emotionally connect to it. So if you laugh and you think it's funny, yeah, let's go for it. Like you can take all the data that you want, but like data is only going to tell you about the past, and like kind of maybe you can see what will repeat in the future. But when you just kind of trust your gut and go like, no, I really do have a really good emotional response to this, then you're like, yeah, let's do something new. We all like it. Why not? Let's go.
that's cool. And did you guys have any idea that it would mint this many times? I mean, I have to assume you guys speculated on how many times it would mint. Or was anybody anywhere close to the actuality?
I don't think we even, I mean, I don't remember anyone actually predicting it. Honestly, we weren't even predicting numbers. Like sometimes with other Blankos, we'll predict the timing, and it's always down to seconds. And I've been right once or twice, but you know, like you guys just pick this stuff up so quickly.
Yeah, yeah. The
Y'all are like
community's really savvy.
ready.
Really, really savvy. Right. We've covered a lot of what I wanted to cover today, it's particularly about King Carrot and about working at Mythical. So I got a question for you, just about your overall, enthusiasm for blockchain in general. Are you obviously you're a big fan of it because you work for a company that is based in it, but I just wanted to hear more about kind of your thoughts on blockchain and gaming in general.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting. I mean, um, I try to connect it with like any like thing that you would buy that has sort of a cultural or timing significance. Like that's why people like to collect luxury goods. Like if you bought it at a certain time or it was made by a certain person, like yeah, it has that value. But like with a luxury purse, you can't always like prove where it's from or who's owned it before you or anything like that. So this is really exciting because you can prove these things and it becomes this like very solidified, like locked in archive of what is essentially art history. Like we're and we're able to track it and track whose hands it's exchanged from, and it creates value because like, oh, like if Chavio once owned it, then it has extra value because like he once owned it and he owned it a long time ago before anyone else did. And it's like not only just like the art history part, but like it plays into like the life cycle of a video game. Like we know that like you don't play a video game forever, and so knowing that like you're investing in all these skins like you would in any other game, but now you also have these things for a long time and you can give them away once you're done playing this game. um it's just nice to know that like you're playing a game no matter what, the time that you've spent is still worth something in a monetary form, and you can just recycle and reuse that money to buy more blankos once you get bored of one, or you can move on and play another game, whatever you want to do. But it's really like a very socially aware sort of life cycle that I really like. And people already kind of do this. I mean, they do it with World of Warcraft. They'll sell an entire account just so that someone
That's
else
right.
can own the account, or someone can own a certain item. But this is the way it's monetized. There's proof. You know who had it. You know when they got it. They like, like exactly how they got it. Like
That's right. So
it's
if anybody tries to sell you the Chavio El Cha Texas, you can check on the chain. It's not mine. Don't let them. Don't let the
exactly
scammers get you out there.
right. And like no one can like recolor something that was mashed up with something else and then it looks like the original again, but what if it
Right,
isn't
right.
the
Yeah, we have seen.
original?
Oh, we've seen. Yeah, people have made like I'm sure like there's a bunch of different versions of Billy. So like I've seen people call them the budget friendly like Billy flip. Like somebody will get like a Billy and then like use a flip gumball on it and they're like, "Oh, I got the Billy flip." But you can tell there's like little details on it. Yeah, somebody just shouted out.
Right.
Somebody said budget Billy flip.
I kind of love that happens though. Like I love
It is
like
cool.
yeah. I love that there's this entire ethos of like fakes and like legit ones and counterfeits.
And they kind
Like
of each have
obviously,
their own,
yeah.
relativeness in the whole scheme of things. Where like I don't know, knockoff community is like kind of a funny, cool community too. So I think it's pretty cool to see all the different ways that people are interacting with them.
Yeah.
Now more on blockchain. What do you think about how this works for artists? Because not everybody's even aware, that blockchain works on smart contracts, and that really smart contracts are probably the most important part, or arguably one of the most important parts of blockchain altogether. So, I mean, would you care to talk a little bit about, what it means for artists who are creating work and how blockchain is kind of a big game changer for them in terms of the smart contract?
Oof.
If you want to do it briefly, I know that's a big
It's
one.
it's it's a really complex topic because like there are risks and there are people who do get sort of ripped off, which is weird because there's a blockchain, so you could just take a look and see that it's not the artist that posted it, and then
Right.
it's not. It's I don't know. It's weird.
Well, I mean more specifically, an artist being able to, so let's assume everything's on the level. Obviously, there's scammers out there, but if everything's on the level, and an artist creates a piece of artwork, previously, an artist paints a picture, he sells it one time, or they sell it one time, and if it continues its journey of sales, that's it. the artist made a commission on the first sale, but typically doesn't get anything on the back end for, subsequent sales. So here you have smart contracts where you can actually plug the
Oh
artist
yeah.
directly into it. So I'm curious, as you being an artist, you know, what do artists think about this new technology coming out that kind of, helps carry their name with that piece of artwork on into perpetuity, and then shows them, like people are saying in chat right now, royalties for doing their work. I mean, it's got to be, to me, it seems significant, but I'm curious to hear an artist's, take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool. I mean, like obviously, like people spend tons of time making whatever art that they do, and now you can sell multiple copies and you will always get royalties. I think like a lot of people are really into that idea. I think a lot of people are just really scared of it, because just the way that people talk about it. Like it's I feel bad because people feel the need to talk about blockchain in a very complex way, but it's not anything crazy. It's just very new, and obviously with your own work, you should be protective of it. You should be worried and do your research. I'm hesitant to talk about it because I don't want to steer anyone the wrong way, and I don't want to make someone feel like they should or shouldn't do that.
Right,
I know how.
not financial
Yeah,
advice to anybody out there.
yeah,
For me, it's just exciting to hear that an artist can continue to profit off a piece of work, because why shouldn't they
I'm
get a piece of those profits as everybody else continues to profit off their work? That, you know what I mean? None of the subsequent sales exist without the artist creating the piece of work. So to me, they should kind of always be attached to it as it moves on.
right.
Just like
No, I
music
mean,
or movies that are used in commercials or ads nowadays. You should, the original artist should always be able to profit off that, in my mind.
yeah, no, I totally agree. Like the more you can make from whatever you're doing, the better. Um, I will always be for it. Obviously, I work at an NFT company, so I'm all for it. But it is, and this is what's scary for us as well. Like, or us as in like Mythical. It's very much the Wild West down here.
It is. No, it really, I mean, even regulation changes month to month, which, affects all of us out here. So Wild West is probably an understatement, actually.
Right. Yeah.
The new
So
frontier.
I don't want to tell people what they should or shouldn't do because I don't want to be the authority on that.
Agreed.
I
Agreed.
want people to do their research. I want people to look it up for themselves. I want people to watch as many YouTube videos as they can about it, and I want people to like make that educated decision because no one's gonna do that better than yourself, you know?
For sure. For sure. Well, Mel, we've had you for almost an hour. I don't know how long you have for us today. How much more time do you got for us today?
I got all day. We can hang out forever.
Let's
This is
go.
fun.
Let's go. All right. So, while we're on the topic of artists and artwork, I know that you work on some different stuff as well, and I wanted to give people a chance to see some of that stuff. Let's see. I want to pull up some of. Can I pull up your website?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Let me grab that now. Let's see. We got all the stuff. All right, cool. Again, everybody, if you type in !Mel Chang and you want to see anything that I'm looking at right now, all her links are right there. This is actually melchang.com. So we can see that you have some of the Burberry stuff here. Now, you told me you worked on the accessories.
Yes. Yeah.
So how was that? How was working with, Burberry,
Oh
one of
my
the
gosh.
biggest fashion brands on the planet?
Oh man, I love this one. This makes me so happy. I really hope we get to work with them again. But yeah, this is like I love working with these bigger brands or like these huge luxury brands. I love working with celebrities because it's a lot of these people that make it so big. Like they're so successful because they're like there's something inside them that's like screaming to get out. Or like that's maybe just my assumption, but like they make incredible work. They're making tons of money. They have an entire empire around it. And these people put a lot of thought into it. And so Burberry is one of those companies that I found really does that. Their creative chief creative officer has worked with a ton of huge brands. He's like very well known. It's Ricardo Tici, but he has all this experience in like street wear, and he's worked with like he worked on like Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's wedding. He's worked with Rihanna, and so he's like really bringing that into Burberry, and sort of like modernizing that brand and just pulling it a little bit away from just like the plaids and the beiges, but he's still like kind of giving that respect to the heritage by creating this monogram. That's the TB for Thomas Burberry.
Yeah.
And so that's still all kind of tied in. And so when we take all that stuff into account, there's so much rich history in such an old brand like this. It's so exciting to get into, especially when they're rebranding like this. And so you get to sort of look at, okay, so who are you working with now? Who did you work with before? Well, you worked with Cara Delevingne a long time ago. And now you're working with people like Billie Eilish. Well, Billie Eilish is very American. She's very modern and she's very young. So
Yeah.
what's going on there? Well, she's very involved in street culture, but okay, like what's Billie Eilish doing? Billie Eilish is making the next song for the next James Bond. It's a very British sort of like brand. And when you sort of like tie all these like this entire web of references and connections and people who want to work together, you get this very like holistic idea of who these people are and what they're trying to say and what they're trying to evoke, just beyond all that, or like behind all that branding. And I love taking all of that stuff and cramming it into a tiny Blanko. And so that's what we've done. And we
Pretty
can create
wild.
like new, yeah, we
I
can
think
create these new exciting shapes.
it's really wild what you've done here, and listening to you talk about, you know, starting with Burberry and then tying in their new director and his artistic history, and then, you know, different artists that he's worked with, and then those artists working on songs for James Bond, tying like, I mean, I think when you think it's like like lightning striking and it fractures into all different, you know, trains of thought. With me, it's like these slow gears turning, and one gear turns another gear. So it's really wild for me to hear, you know, just the insane artistic design that goes into creating these pieces. I mean, to me, it adds even more value to them. And every time I find out, you know, just like we've had some previous artists on, and when they tell me about their artwork and everything that goes into them, I always walk away enjoying it even more. And I think about those things as I use a character, like knowing that there are some James Bond tie-ins to the Sharky Bee jetpack. To me, like, I love James Bond movies. I just grew up watching them. So, you know, all the cool gadgets he has and stuff, that's one of the coolest parts of the movie. So
Yeah,
knowing that
like
the jetpack, yeah, I'm like, that's amazing.
Putting it in there, yeah. But yeah, no, it's so much fun, and like this job is perfect for me because I think about like 1,000 miles per hour about nothing.
Nothing or everything.
Nothing, everything. I'm just constantly like connecting everything because everything is connected. You know,
Yeah.
that's how you get people involved. That's how you get people interested. That's how you get you pique someone's interest. Like if someone's into James Bond, then they might be into Billie Eilish. If they're into Billie Eilish, they might be into Burberry, and if they're into Burberry, they might be into Blanko since they're doing stuff with us. And then you tie it back together and then make a backpack that has that sort of James Bond vibe, and it just all kind of like cycles together. But it's also really fun because with Blankos, when we do these collabs, we get to sort of find out like what's your like weird, quirky, unique sense of humor that you normally wouldn't be able to express in your own brand, and how can we bring that in here? And actually, the great part about Burberry is we didn't expect them to like want to be a part of our world as much as they wanted to be. Like they were really cool to work with, and they're like, yeah, like let's do it, let's get goofy.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and so these shoes that we have, they're these like goofy pool shoes with the Burberry print on them. Like you would never see that from Burberry normally. But what's also really fun about it is, again, my job is to make sure everyone is having fun as like kind of like low cost as possible. And so I wanted to create these shoes so that you can have like the essence of this Sharky skin if you never got to have it, or if you didn't have the money. Because I know like when I was playing games, I didn't pay for anything. I didn't buy anything.
Oh yeah.
Like I started making my own money, you know?
Oh yeah, my parents They were not. They were not going to fund a digital lifestyle for me.
Right. And then when you do like buy some things, you buy like little things, you know, you'll buy a skin once in a while. And so like I want different access points for people to be involved and to have fun, feel like they're a part of this thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's cool because I think, they say now, I think if you look globally, that the gaming industry has surpassed like the music and movie industry together. Not only that, but I think they said 60% of Americans play games on a daily basis. 60% play on a daily basis, which is insane. But when you think about, did my grandfather play a lot of video games? No. Did my dad? Barely any. But me, I play a lot. So, as now there's generations and generations of gamers younger than me. So your idea of having access points for, or entry points for different types of players really is great because it tailors to the fact that, gamers who started gaming 30, 40 years ago, we're adults with careers and disposable income. So it's really, really cool to think that, hey, there is something in here that is, a little bit more high end for the gamer who is like, I want that primo gaming experience and that primo gaming accessory.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I want everyone to have fun. I want everyone to experience this. Like that's the whole point of getting into games for me. I love this thing and I want to spread it. I want everyone to be able to share something fun with someone else also because it's a game that's like very interactive. There's a lot of grinding, and you know what's great to do when you're grinding? Do it with somebody else. Grab a snack, grab a
Yeah.
friend, do it all night.
Hang out with your homies.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, I gotta ask Lolly. So just so you know, my very first Blanko was Lolly. That was the one that started the journey. That was the very first one I've owned. And literally, I've told everybody, like, I'll never sell, regardless of what happens with this game, I'll never sell that first one because it was the very first crypto blockchain purchase I made, so it was my first Blankos, first blockchain gaming. So for me, that really represents something much more than a character. It represents kind of like the start of a new chapter of my life. And I want to say thank you so much for creating that character. And you know what? Again, tying back into the entry points, it was the entry point that allowed me to, I saw some of them were, hundreds of dollars, and then some of them weren't. And I mean, kind of speaking to the larger blockchain gaming sector, now you have buy-ins that could cost upwards of $1,000 or half Ethereum to get into it. So the fact that this game existed and they said, hey, look, we know there's going to be different folks getting in here at different points. So the fact that there was this one, it was like, hey, I think it was $25 when it first came out, and you got the character, you got private beta access, and they gave you $25 worth of in-game currency right back. So it was like this no-brainer for me, like you were saying, like, I don't want to pay anything, it was like this no-brainer for me to jump right in and grab this particular character. But I love Lolly, and I'd love to hear you tell us a little bit about him.
Yeah. So there is another concept artist. His name's Dan Lish. He's done a ton of skins. He also does a couple of the accessories too. And he's like basically like the one who designed the entire like world of like the junction and everything. Like, he's incredible. And I was like kind of new at the time, and I was really inspired by his style. We went through a couple different iterations, but I also kind of wanted to make a Blanko that also felt like it belonged in that world, with just like the kind of style of the eyes and the goofy smile and the bright colors. And originally this Blanko was supposed to be like a sort of jacked up version of Billy, but like, those popsicles where like it's like Bubbles' face or like SpongeBob.
Yeah, and the eyes are like Gumballs or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just looks kind of like off. Like,
you're talking about like 1990s ice cream truck. That's what you're describing, the 1990s ice cream. I used to get the Ninja Turtle one. That was the one I always got.
Yeah. I like the Bubbles one because I was a big Powerpuff Girls fan.
See, I was already away from. I'm so much older than you that I was already not going to the ice cream truck. My younger sisters may have grabbed that, but for me, I was like, there was a Ghostbusters, there was a Ninja Turtle. It was like the old school 1980s, the 1980s cartoons that were at the truck when I was going.
Yeah, no, but it's the same kind of thing. You want it to be something that people recognize.
But now I love him even more. Now he's gonna really make me think about my childhood and be like, no, this dude represents like the little. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
It's now a little bit removed from it because we did have like a Billy, I think the gold drip for like the super luxe tier, and so it seemed kind of like redundant.
Right.
But we have still this weird lollipop that is evocative of Dan's style. And I love that style. I love what Dan's done. And this is just my cute little version of it.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Did you want to talk about Cabinet Man or Astrid? Both or one?
Yeah. Cabinet Man is my favorite one that I've done. I just made it when I was like in a really good place. Like when I see it, I just see nothing but good memories.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And it's just a culmination of like every good memory I had playing like old video games. Because it has
the scoreboard on the back of his head with the old school letter and everything is really, really good.
I know. I don't tell them what's on the back because some people haven't unboxed it yet. So I will leave that for people to unbox on the back because there's
a couple special references on the back of the head for y'all to see. So there are some special things that come with unboxing yours.
Yes. But yeah, that's my favorite one. It was also one that like I felt like really like I felt very trusted by my boss to do what I felt was right in that design, and she was like all on for it. So I felt like really, really empowered in my job, and it's really helped to inform me about like the culture of the workplace that I'm in. Like I feel really good about working here. I feel like I can be like my best creative self, and people appreciate it. And I don't think a lot of that one has been minted, but it's
2100.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty decent amount. And I gotta say, I don't know if you can see the screen right now.
Yeah.
The mashups of this one, I'm starting to think like maybe there was some Power Ranger,
Ooh.
because when I see it mashed up and I see it with like the other, I'm like
the white one. Yeah.
I'm like, this is another one of my favorites. I'm like, yo, this kind of looks like a Blanko Power Ranger. Somebody from chat, I don't remember who it was a long time ago now, but somebody suggested, they're like, oh, we need to get like, get 4 or 5 of them and make all the main Power Rangers. And I was like, oh my God, that's actually a really good idea.
Oh, and we got to come up with like some terrible like weapon instrument hybrid, like the flute knife thing that the Green Ranger has.
Oh my God, the flute knife. And then Gaylid could be like, that could be what do they call it? I don't remember what that was, that Green Dragon's guy, right? He would call that one. Anyway, going down the rabbit hole here. But yeah, I gotta say, some of the mashups for this particular one were super cool. I really, really liked them. Like all of a sudden, especially when you start to like boil them down to their base colors, you get like a little bit of like almost emotion on them that you can see is like a little bit different. So yeah, really, really, this was one that like I liked when it first came out, and then I saw the mashups and I really fell in love with it. I was like, oh, okay. Seems like the mashups are getting cooler and cooler as the Blankos get further and further into design. It almost seems like the areas that are mashable and ones that stay the same and ones that change have been identified a little bit better, and they're like the mashups are getting more and more crisp.
Yeah, no, Brandon, who's our 3D artist, he works so hard on that. Like he works really, really hard on it, and he just does such a good job. And like he checks it with us and everything. And he's man, like I never want him to leave. He's just so good.
All right, change up gears. Let's talk about Astrid a little bit. We'll look at the original. Now this one, I don't know if this had anything to do with it, but this one is so 90s for me that like, I love this one. Like the S on the front, that like nobody knows where that S came from, or like, I gotta like, tell us about this design and please tell me why you picked that S to be in there.
So we released so many Blankos that we designed so many and released so many. And so for me, there's no reason why we shouldn't be catering to all these different like niches of like gender definition and like different flavors of how someone wants to express themselves. And so I'm sure other people will like design their own female Blankos and they'll make some for us. Junko's already made some really incredible ones. I love, I think her name's Mythical. The one with like the flower and the braids. But I wanted like a
Oh,
tough
Nijiko,
girl.
yeah, she's good. I got a
Yeah.
couple. I think I got like 6 of those.
Yeah. But yeah, I that's the one that I always play with. She's my favorite to play with.
Oh, really? So
yeah.
that is your in-game representation. Just so I think if she pulled off the balaclava, that's Mel Chang. It's like
Maybe. But yeah, this was I wanted like a tough schoolyard bully type girl. So it has the S, but she's also kind of like a snake, and she's got the little like snake patch on the back of her head.
She's cool. I love this. If you can see this one right here, somebody managed to get the stripes to disappear, so the balaclava was solid color. I'm like,
oh,
wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, the mashups are so crazy.
Yeah, I know. I love them. I really, really do. And I want more people to mash up their Blankos. And I want
look at this blue. This blue one just looks evil. Like, so they really are cool. That one looks like an evil Smurf that like somehow made it into the Blankos world. But yeah, I gotta say, like I said, I really love the way the mashups are headed. I think the mashups are getting better and better, and it's really, really cool to see everybody kind of have the ability to make them their own. And I even see some people who are so good at it that when they mash them up and put them on the market, they sell them for more than the original price, even though it's opened. And you would think, oh, it's open, I'm not going to pay more for it. You opened it, but people will pay more because they can't figure out how to color it that way.
Wow.
So you're seeing some of them go as like almost like a premium design.
And like their own different. I didn't even think of that. You guys are so cool.
If the game gets big enough, I mean, there certainly could be, like, this is literally the only one with a solid white balaclava. So to me, that one is really pretty special one in general. Because that is not an easy thing. Yeah, that is not an easy thing. And I think that's kind of one of the dreams, right? For a lot of us have talked about metaverse, and, you know, we're not going to get into that big conversation, but you see new subsets of jobs being created. And it's going to start as, you know, a silly little person who does, you know, recolors and does mashups and makes a profit off of it. But eventually, you know, that could turn into its own industry all by itself.
Right. Yeah.
So, guys, I'm going to switch gears because I want to give Mel a chance to talk about some of her other work that she does. So, Mel, could you take a second and tell us about Barista EXP? I think this. So she told me a little bit about this idea. I'm actually going to hit the play button here. Let me mute it though, because that way we can just get the description directly from you as the video plays.
Yeah.
Wait, oh, there it goes. There it goes.
It has all the art that would have been underneath. That's a good idea. Yeah, this is what I made before working at Blankos, because like this is maybe just like portfolio advice. You can't really get a job if you don't have anything to flex, and that isn't digestible for people. And so this was the thing that I was making because I wanted to show off all of my skills and everything that I could do in one like cohesive project.
So tell them a little bit, like, what is the concept? What is you know, the elevator pitch of the concept?
Yeah. So the concept is that this entire story takes place in an MMORPG. So think like World of Warcraft, EverQuest, RuneScape. And the main character is a potion barista. And this is the thing that she loves to do. And she's really, really good at it. And then one day, like most games, you know, they fall apart or they get sold, or, you know, that things move on, like games don't last forever. And so they do one final patch, and the final patch is bugged. And the bug is that none of the bosses are coming back. And so even the people who want to play it, they can't play it because there's no cycle anymore. And so I was going through a phase where I was like, oh man, like what if I never make it as a concept artist? Like I really, really want to do this. Like this is all I want to do. And I was like working as a barista at the time. So it's like, what if I like switched it? What if the thing that I wanted to be for the rest of my life was a barista, and like someone took that away from me and I just made a story about that.
So
And so
kind of
it's
like
that
an outward expression of you're feeling, hey, I may never become this, so I'm gonna make a cartoon that reflects how I'm feeling. Where there's a character. First of all, I think it's amazing that you chose to. It's almost it's kind of like turning the whole thing on its head, right? Like video game characters are real, and when you walk away, just like Wreck-It Ralph, when you walk away, they have their own lives and they do their own thing when you're not playing.
right,
And
exactly.
so yeah, so to have this character who's like, oh no, my game is dying. What am I supposed to do? Having this almost like existential crisis, of
Yeah.
identity. So I
Because
think
I think
that's
a lot of
a big concept to bake down into. I'm a potion. It's so cool. Like I'm a potions barista in a game, and questing heroes come in, and I serve them their potions, and it's such a unique concept.
yeah, man. Like, I mean, I like really like I didn't know what I was gonna do if I couldn't be a concept artist. And like in the similar way, like when you feel like you're born to do something, um, you're like, what do I do if I can't do it? What's gonna happen? And so one thing that I kind of realized is like I just gotta like go with it, like I gotta just get invested in the people that I have in my reach. I gotta get connected with the people that I'm serving coffee to and get involved in their life and like be like committed to this thing that I have to do right now. And then I can relate to other people with my art. If I'm not invested in the world that I'm like in, then I can't make art for anyone else and it's not going to connect with other people. And so this character, she goes on and is like, all right, can't be a barista, but I can still use these skills. I can go heal these bosses, but I got to learn these other skills that everyone else knows, all these other skills that are employable so that I can still be a part of this world and I can still be helpful and still do what I love on the side if I can fit it in. Because what you'll kind of find is a lot of people will go into a job and they'll get employed and then their employer will be like, oh, all these other things and you're really, really useful and you're really unique because of all these other things that you can do. And that's kind of also what I found with Mythical. Like they hired me as a concept artist, but like I have this toy experience and I have furniture design experience. I understand manufacturing. I understand production. I understand like the pipeline of management. And I have all these things that can sort of pull together to make a richer experience. And I understand toy history and art history. So
You see Josh Foreman's comment there. I thought we hired you as a coffee artist. Can you actually pour lattes? Like, can you pour latte art?
Yeah. I think I poured one. I think I poured a tulip in this video.
I was just wondering. I was like, are those you pouring it right there?
Maybe later on. I think later on it's me. But yeah, I used some stock footage because this was actually a video that I did for Wacom or Wacom.
Somebody's
Yeah.
telling me I got to see your furniture. Somebody's saying you got to see her sick furniture.
My furniture is fairly useless.
Oh, it might not be safe for work.
Like, why were you in furniture? You weren't making anything that anyone would put in their interior. You're just making weird stuff. I made a stool that was like based off of like bubble gum. And I just put a bunch of like memory foam in it, and then I had these like spikes coming out of it, and so it had like that like stretched look of like bubble gum. And it was like, who would sit on that?
That must be somebody. That must be somebody that knows you from outside of Blankos, because they know the deep dive stuff if they know about your furniture.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, it's really cool to see. I love that. That's one of the greatest things about Blankos is you see like all these different groups of people coming together and getting to enjoy a common thread, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, I know. It's, man.
The artwork for this is awesome too. I gotta say, this is definitely like I want to say it kind of reminds me of like early 2000s comic books. Definitely not like the old school stuff, but that when they didn't completely flip it on its head, but it was still invocative of like the artwork of the 80s and the 90s, but then like had that newer, crisper look to it, all more vibrant colors almost. But I really love the artwork for it. As somebody who grew up reading a lot of comic books, I gotta say. It's pretty cool. So if somebody wanted to go about, consuming more of your content, where would they find stuff about Barista EXP? This is hidden away.
It's kind of hidden away right now. I work on this a lot.
So we'll have to just keep following along for more updates.
Yeah. I have some stuff in the backlog that I need to post, but it's just there's so there's so much stuff that I want to do at Blankos, and the team is just so exciting to work with that it's really hard for me to genuinely want to take a break and just not do it.
Right. Yeah. I get. I mean, I think you were telling me that you're having trouble working on your side project. That's a good problem to have when you love your job so much that you don't want to work on your side projects. That's really, really cool.
I want to do research all the time. That's going to teach me new things about like what accessories I can make for you guys. I want to read every single like fashion magazine. I want to learn all about the history that I don't know about fashion. I want to go to like Miami's like art basel, and I want to like there's just so many other things that I want to experience so that I can do a better job here and like make fun stuff for you guys.
So it sounds like we can expect some big things coming out of the Blankos workshop in the future, and particularly from Miss Mel Chang. Really, really cool. Really, really cool. Was there any other work that you wanted to share with everybody today?
I think that is about it. I would love to see the work that you guys do on this monkey that I've made.
All right, guys. So with that, it sounds like we are going to switch into the fashion show time. You have to pick, we'll pick 6. Pick 6 to keep out of the 10. All right, first up is...
a little tiger in there. What's going on with that?
I don't know. First up is Snabber. Snabber, I don't think you're going to win the ape contest. Snabber, come on up.
You're very cute. I like your use of the hat. It's a very nice accent. It goes well with your eyes.
All right,
but I think you have to get out.
Snabber, you're supposed to be right here. When it's your turn, you got to come right into the center of the stage. We've got to teach people a little bit how to do this. It's okay. You're taking too long. All right. They were just about to get shot. All right, Snabber, this was actually a fashion show for the ape contest, so I don't know if you're going to win here. Okay, Mel.
He's doing the most, though. He's doing the most.
Does he make it through, or are you eliminating?
We gotta eliminate him. I'm sorry. I feel bad.
And you're out. All right, next up, Poncho likes that. Don't worry. We do this all the time. All right, here we go. We got Poncho sporting a brown monkey with the bunny accessories and the unicorn belt.
Oh, man. Oh, and he's got the bunny slippers.
He's got the bunny slippers. He's got the whole bunny outfit.
Yeah, he's very well coordinated. I think we gotta let him through.
All right, have a seat, my friend. Poncho, you've made it through. And you can always, go back. Sometimes I'll let too many through. Tango, you're up. Oh, wow, this one's cool.
Ooh.
Oh, he was listening. Look, he's got the Sharky bee.
Hey.
He was listening. He's got the Sharky bee. He's got the boss chains. He's got lollies accessories. Yep, he's got the new shoes from this season.
And he's got the hat. I designed the hat too. Man, you're not making this easy.
Sounds like Tango's getting through.
Oh, no. It's just...
You gotta go quick, split decision.
No, I know, I'm sorry. Okay.
We only got 10 minutes.
Okay, it's a no for me. The hat does not fit. I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the effort.
All right, castaways. Come on, Ray. You up. All right, Ray's got a mummy one.
Oh.
Wow, no eyes.
Yeah.
He's got all the mummy wrappings.
Too?
Say again?
Yeah, he doesn't have any eyes, does he?
He's got no eyes. He's like a true deadhead.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely going through. Are you kidding me?
All right, Ray, you through.
Yeah.
Next up, Poke Kid. We may have to revisit this. We got to move quick. The 10-minute timer is a killer on us.
We're gonna go fast.
All right, we got. I think this might be close to original colors here. I think it's original colors.
I know it's real cute, but he's gotta go.
He's got the Astrid hat.
Yeah, I do the headshot.
All right, next. Nah, what is this? That's an Octoid.
Nope.
That's an Octoid. Yeah, sorry, Octoid.
Oh no, he's white.
You didn't make an Octoid. Oh, here we got a flying monkey. He's got the Sharky Bee accessories.
Oh, and he's got the Cupid wings.
L child colored skin. And he's got the wings to match. He's got the wings to match the white ape. That's pretty good. That's really
cute. I really love the proportions on that too.
Like
he's going through, man. And he's got
you're through.
Blood name, he's a blue monkey. Yeah, it all works.
You're through, Blue. You're through. All right, Blanko's Junction. Let's see what we got here.
Ooh.
So we got dark color with tan skin. He's got the Galid wristbands, and then he's got the horns. Wow, he's got the horns with the skull hat.
No, I love this. I love him. Oh, and he's got the emote. Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, man, let him
Blow
through,
me
let
up.
him through.
All right, you're through Blanko's Junction. Yeah, if you accidentally let too many through, it'll just be a one more to eliminate next round. No problem there. Bales, you're up. Yeah, we still got 3 more after Bales.
Okay.
Well, Bales got the Billy Bone gold accessories.
Oh, wow.
She's got the, I think those are the taco wristlets.
Yeah.
And it looks like that might be, oh no, she did recolor the, it looks like it's recolored too. Yeah, it's got a slightly lighter gray and pink version.
What? I see what you're doing there, but I'm not a huge fan of this one. I do see what you're doing. I like the color. I like the horns. I like the accent. But it's not, you know, you gotta get that perfect color in there. Oh, Alexa, stop.
So you said this one's a no?
Yeah, this one's a no. It's gotta be like that perfect
Team Sean.
shade of gold if you're gonna go for gold, you know? Gold's a hard one to do though.
Yeah. So Team Sean has the red on red.
Ooh. Oh, this is
With the
fun.
Cabinet Man accessories.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That's all good. Run through.
Are you through, Team Sean? All right, next up we got Max.
Sometimes the best
Oh,
way to
yeah.
go is just like a monochrome monkey and just like axing them out.
This is the zombie monkey. This one's pretty sick.
Oh, that one's going through. Of course he's going through. Look at him. He's so cool.
He even has a zombie emote.
Oh, man.
It's so good.
Oh.
You through, buddy. You through. Go on through. All right, Matilda. Dropping vibe bombs at me. And then Matilda coming up last. She has the Big Boss chains. She's got the TMC bucket hat. And then she's got a pretty cool...
I love that bucket hat, but
Yeah, bucket hat's pretty sick.
yeah, man, I really like your mashup too. It's really cool, but no, I don't know. I don't think it's. I know you're really trying with the flying. I know it looks really great, but I don't think it's the one. I don't think it's the one. You gotta shoot him.
All right.
I'm sorry.
All right, for those of you who have made it through, come on up. We'll try to get it down to 3 now. All right, we got 2.5 minutes to get it down to 3.
All right.
Why don't we have anybody who's made it through come and stand in the line, because I think that's the only way we're going to get this done in 2 minutes. We'll get everybody. Everybody who's through, everybody who's made it through, please come stand right here in a line together, you know,
Okay, I think
shoulder
to-
to shoulder.
Right.
So we can
I
see
think
you
to
guys
nail
all
this
together.
down- To nail this down, we're gonna go for a strong concept. Anyone who doesn't have a strong concept going, you're out. You guys have good designs, not the tiger.
All right, yeah, guys, stand shoulder to shoulder so we can see you all, yeah.
All right, Blue Bloods going through.
All right, Blue, you're
Blanko's
through.
Junction Going through.
Blanko's Junction's through.
We're doing 3 that go through.
You could, I mean, if we move
do
fast, we
4?
can do one more round of elimination.
Okay, all right. It's
Yo, Snot, can you stop, bro? Okay, whoever that is, could you please don't be annoying to everybody? Thank you, I appreciate it.
just helping you to practice your aim.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, the Castaways is going through.
Castaways is through.
Yep. And the zombie monkey's through.
Zombies through. So you got Poncho and Team Sean left.
Yeah. No, I gotta say you're out. The color coordination's really there for me. I love the banana on the back. I love
All right, you guys
the
are out.
whole-
I'm out of ammunition. We got 60 seconds to pick a winner. All right. First, second. Here, everybody line up. And we got to pick first, second, and third. So everybody come in here and we'll just do shoulder to shoulder again, because we only got 60 seconds to pick it. So if you made it through, come stand shoulder to shoulder, and we're gonna pick first, second, third.
Okay.
40 seconds.
All right. First place. I can't.
Yeah, you gotta start with third. You gotta start with third.
Oh, start with third. Okay. Third.
You got 30 seconds, Mel.
All right, third. I'm gonna go third for Blue Blood.
Blue Blood, third place, my friend. Hop on a podium.
Second place is going to second. I'm gonna give second place to the zombie monkey.
Zombie, Max gets second place. And then first place.
first place. Oh man.
10
I'm gonna
seconds.
give first place to Castaways, was it? Or it's the black and white one.
Yeah, Castaways.
Yeah.
So we
getting
didn't have
those
time. We
eyes out
we
of
got to
there.
go back in to get our picture, but it was first place was Ray, Castaways, second place was Max, and third place was Blue Blood, I think, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations, everybody. And we'll go
Yeah,
back in.
no.
We'll go back in and get the picture. We got to get the picture. That was pretty good. The 10-minute timer, I'm like dying for a way to make it a longer map, but I'm like, they're never going to give us more than 10 minutes map.
I know. No, this was great. You guys are so organized too. Like, but this is really good for me too because I don't get to see people lined up together with all their accessories and just see how they use it. I don't get to see like how they use their mashups with those accessories, and it's really cool to like see people like pull a full concept together with the accessories, with the colors. Like, it's like, oh, man, it's so good. You guys did such a good job, and it's so much work too to make some of those mashups.
Oh yeah. I know some people who spend hours in the mashups.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, that is everything we had on the docket for today. Mel, is there anything else you want to do? Anything you want to check out? You want to play some games with us? I mean, if you do, then we're all gonna know your in-game name though. So just remember that.
I kind of want to stay secret just so that I can like sneak around.
Yeah, then you can get that insider information. You'll have to make yourself a second account. That's one you can play with all of us.
I know. I will. We'll have to do another stream, and then I'll do that.
Somebody's probably
Yeah.
making a Mel Chang account right now.
I know. It's
Then
okay.
watch,
I play
tomorrow
games. I have my-
we will see a Mel Chang in our maps.
No, but like for real, you guys, like thank you so much. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for making a map. Like, it's really fun. Just like I used to be excited when just someone would look at my art, and now to see like 45,000 people have a thing that I made, and they're playing with it, and they're enjoying it, and they're using emotes with it. Like, it makes me really happy.
Well, if you want, we can let chat ask you a couple questions. Now, chat, if we let you ask any questions, if she's nice enough to answer any of your questions, obviously they can't be about anything to do with the future of the project or anything like that. We're really just kind of here today to celebrate everything that has come about from the project and all those types of things. So, Mel, would you like to answer any questions from chat?
Sure, yeah. Let's do it.
All right. Here, let's jump back over. Check a time limits. That's not supposed to be there. Let's see if we can pull up something better than that. I don't like the screen that much. The screen has chat to it, but all right. Chat. So Mel said she is nice enough to answer some of your questions. So let's see what we got. All right. Seems like everybody wants to know, will you become a streamer? Everybody wants to watch you stream, Mel.
I don't know, man. Like,
She's not saying no.
I'm not saying no, but I'm also just like, I need to sleep.
She's busy. So maybe. And if not, we'll just bug her to come on our show and hang out with us again.
I would, yeah, no, like this was really fun, and that's the only reason why I've been like, I wouldn't mind it. No, like I love talking to you guys. You guys are really, really nice. It's really like I love like trolling through Twitter and just seeing what you guys are doing and talking to you guys. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll just piggyback off Chavio.
Poncho's got one. He says, how did it come about to do a Filipino themed party pass?
Oh, well, Quix is already like huge. Like, he's huge. And
he pulls that much weight, that he
yeah, I think
could influence an entire season.
Yeah, I think like we always wanted to do something with him. So it's really cool that he agreed to it. And then we were also opening it up to the Philippines, and it all just kind of like lined up just right.
Yeah. And Philippines, that whole region is on fire for blockchain stuff too. I think, the combination of, wage rates combined with the infrastructure, the technological infrastructure they have there is like the right chemistry of like, hey, they got access to everything they need, but they could deal with better wages. And I think that's why you're seeing so many people from those areas that have access to these, you know, to all these networks being able to jump right in and increase their earnings, which to me is like, I love blockchain for that reason, that I'm like, just because you're not near, you know, the job you want to have, or you're not near the bank you want to bank at, like it doesn't eliminate you from being able to increase your revenue stream. So, and it's super cool to see that kind of stuff. Yeah. Let's get off the money stuff though. I know nobody wants to talk about that. JJ Wicked said, what's your favorite Blankos other than your own? And you can give us like 2 or 3 if you don't want to pick your favorite child.
Well, I always play as Nichiko. I think that's her name. What was it? I haven't looked at her in a long time, name-wise.
Wait, which one?
Nichiko, the one that.
Oh yeah. Nichiko's super cool.
Yeah.
Here, we'll go
I just
find
think
her.
it's a really unique name, or a really unique like use of like having pigtails like on the body, and
Here she is.
just a very like different and very ethereal design from what we normally have. I also. Honestly, I really love Sharky B. Like, I wish I had a little Sharky B toy on my desk because.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's just.
Can you see the screen? Check this out. Check out what I got. I got a little El Cha Texas.
Oh, that's cool.
Somebody made it for me. Somebody made it. I got a couple cool things. I got that logo. You want to see? You want to see? Everybody knows El Cha Texas is my guy. My green screen effects are messing it up, but I actually have a whole.
Oh wow!
I gotta have a scene where I don't have green screen, so it doesn't mess everything up. But yeah, no, I have a couple El Cha Texas things.
Why are you getting all the Blankos fan art? What is happening here?
Because I'm like the only unofficial Blankos employee that doesn't get paid. I crank out some hours into Blankos. No,
I believe it. I've seen it, man. I see it.
So Nijiko, and then you said the other one you like was Sharky B. Wow, I have no idea where all these are. My don't look at my shelf. It's a slob. I love a hoarder's Blanko. There was like it was organized once upon a time, and then they had the bug where it would reorganize your shelf, and then I was like, no, we're not fixing that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sharky B is awesome. So you love the Nijiko and the Sharky B. So those are some of your favorites, huh?
Yeah, and like the fin on the back. And what's so crazy about this too is like a couple of us were all like gunning to be the one that would design the Burberry Blanko.
Oh, so you guys kind of compete to design them.
Sometimes we just get assigned because like, you know, they're all different kinds of artists, and that's kind of why it's hard to be like, oh, like who's your favorite artist or like what's your favorite, because they all have like different uses and everyone's good at different stuff. But yeah, no, this was one of those ones where it came up and I was like, no, that's the best one. It's right.
That's pretty cool.
It's just so good.
All right, let's see.
I love a unique use of like a mold too. That's great.
All right, we got Polymer said, what's your favorite studio? But I don't know the word after studio. Is it Ghibli? Ghibli? Ghibli?
Oh,
what's your favorite? Ghibli? Yeah, I don't know what that means. You'll have to educate me here.
Oh yeah, like that's like Miyazaki films and like Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke. Yeah, no, my favorite food scene from it is not actually a cooking scene. It's the one in My Neighbor Totoro where the little girl is looking for her mom and she gets lost and she's crying and she's holding this giant, I think it's like a radish. And she's like hanging on to it and she's hugging it. She wants to give it to her sick mom. And it's a beautiful scene because it shows like the unique way that Miyazaki decides to show emotion and animate. Like, he doesn't show this girl crying. She shows the entire world around her is crying and sobbing with her because she feels so lost, and he draws her like tiny to show how lost she is. While she's like clutching this like giant radish for dear life. But I love all anime cooking scenes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I think that person had a second question there. Did they say favorite food? Or was it I lost that question? I think they asked about your favorite food. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food? Oh, my favorite food is like kind of like a hack. I hate eating because it's really boring to me, and I hate.
It takes up a lot of time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm a soup girl. Love my soup, but if I want something else, I think it's called Sukumen. It's like ramen, but you have it like split up, so it's like a dipping ramen, and it's super delicious. And like, my noodles never get soggy because I can just like have it here, and I can just eat it at my own pace when I remember that there's food there.
Soup, all right.
What?
I was expecting like pizza or something, you know, something typical, but I like it. Soup. Now, that's not, you don't hear somebody often say my favorite food is soup.
Yeah, I hate chewing. Really boring to me.
Not only does she dislike eating, not only she does like food, but she dislikes chewing the food. This is like a real.
Yeah.
Drinks only, please. Drinks only, please. So if you ever buy Mel any type of food-related gift, make sure it doesn't require any chewing. It needs to be drinkable.
Yeah, that and like bacon.
Oh yeah, bacon.
Who doesn't? Yeah.
Digital Maniac says, will you mint your own art NFTs on other open platforms?
Actually, before I answer that, someone said Broth Maiden. I think that might have to be the name that I use when I hop on your stream.
Broth Maiden. Who was that? Was that was Polymer. That was it. That's somebody who knows you well, because that was the same person who asked you the questions about the food, and the same person who said we need to look at your furniture. So that's somebody who knows you. Yeah.
Sorry. What was the question?
I don't know now. I don't. Oh, well, you mint your own art NFTs on other open platforms.
I just feel like that's so like functionally redundant, you know? Like, I feel like for me, the point of like being involved in NFTs is to like make some extra cash or be involved in something new. I'm fine with what I make, and I'm working in NFTs, and I get to learn all about it. I get to be a part of the world. I don't know. Yeah.
So you're all in. You're all in on this right now. So maybe later, maybe someday in the future.
Maybe someday in the future. Like I'm just not like a super like need to get the most money for like the amount of, I don't know, like I just want to have fun, you know? So like at a certain point when you're like chasing after money all the time, when you're like comfortable, like obviously like, yeah, sometime I would like to move out of my apartment and get a house. Maybe that's when I will start minting my own NFTs.
Or that house could pay. You know, that house could get paid for by that first NFT collection. You never know.
Oh man, I could be like that guy who like traded a paperclip until he got a house. Yeah.
That's all you gotta do. You know what I mean? You just create one NFT. Hey guys, I've seen the YouTube video. I've seen these kids that make these. They talk about it like it's the easiest thing. They're like, oh, you just take this money and you make your collection and you sell 10,000 of them for this much and boom, you got $2.5 million. I'm like, come on, it's not that easy.
I know. I feel like everyone, it's weird because like before people ask me what I do, they're like, oh, do you know about NFTs and you're an artist? Like you should make your own NFTs. I was like, I do. I make NFTs for a living, but I don't make NFT money. And I don't know how to explain this to them in like one sentence. It's very weird.
They really got you figured out. They said, so if we get her anything bacon flavored drinks, okay, they got it. They know what to get you now.
Yeah, no.
You may have skipped a step, chat.
Bacon, like a bacon infused broth, like that's a thing.
She'll accept that. Bacon infused broth, but no like bacon sodas, please.
Yeah. No.
Chat, anybody else got any questions for Mel? There were some other questions about like future things, but not that I'm skipping over your questions, just that we can't ask her questions about speculating on what may be the future of Blankos. That'll get Mel in trouble.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anything future-wise that I can answer. I know that someone asked about my favorite map, and I do want to give credit to
Oh, yeah, I missed that. Thank you so much for going back to that, because that was a great question. I think that might have been Sylvester. Somebody asked, what was your favorite map you've seen so far? Yep, that was Sylvester. Sylvester, I'm sorry, bro.
I think it was called On a Live Run. I loved it.
On a Live
it's
Run by Sandy.
Yeah. It's the one where like you stand in the middle and then like other people are running and like one team has to shoot the other person, or the other team has to make it to.
That's how you know Mel plays the game. Only somebody who plays the game, only like an OG who's been playing the game would really, honestly, because like somebody who's come in recently would have no idea that that map ever existed, you know, like, or that, you know, once upon a time we were like trying very hard to create our own game modes with very minimal things. And that was
I
like,
wish more people would do that. Like, I don't know if like we have enough for people to do that, but I wish more people would do that because it's just so much fun, and it was so much fun to play it and like to try to like hack like the best way to get through, and it was fun to like taunt people. Like it had everything that a good game is. It was so much fun. It was a very well designed map, and it was so simple.
here's a great question. Snabber asks, what other games do you play? So do you have like some favorite, like do you have an old school favorite and a modern favorite, or, you know, somewhere along those lines?
So right now I'm playing Cyberpunk.
What are you playing?
And I'm playing Cyberpunk.
Okay.
So
I never finished it. I'm guilty. I'm one of those people. The bugs got me. I played it on PC right off the bat, so I didn't have like the console issues, but I didn't make it.
Yeah, I started on PC and now I have a PS5, so I'm trying it on that. I haven't run into anything, so I've been having a blast. I haven't seen any T poses or anything. Like, you know, the tried and true is always going to be Zelda. I grew up on it. Like, that was like the first game that I finished, and it took me a really long time to finish it because I was really little. And
Wait, which one?
Shadow Temple is very scary. Ocarina of Time.
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah.
It makes me feel so old when people say those are the games from their youth. I'm like, oh god, that was like the third that was like a third gen console to me.
Oh man, I had a gold N64. I had the gold one, and yeah, we still have it. We just have it as like a relic in the house.
I mean, honestly, I hope, you know, it seems like blockchain is trying to get a resurgence of like the old school pixel art games. So hopefully there's a couple gems that, you know, that come creeping up that, you know, kind of pay homage to that old school style and make it, you know, that new cutting edge technology. Because, you know, I think there are enough gamers that grew up on those games that would happily jump back into an updated version of them.
Oh, well, I mean, they have, right? Huh?
They definitely got some, but I feel like now they're going back to like almost like Minecraft, but they're making full fleshed out games where it's less sandbox, more like actual, you know, playable game with storyline, lore, characters. And I think for me, like I've been really enjoying kind of the resurgence of all the pixel art coming into like the blockchain games.
Actually, so I will say that quarantine is giving me a lot of time to like try new games and try new things, and like I used to tell people this and then I forgot about it, and I will tell myself this and everyone else this again: play everything, watch everything, play everything that you hate, and watch everything that you hate, and then figure out why you hate it or you love it. It's good for your brain. It's good to have an opinion. It's going to make you a better designer. It's going to make you a better person. It's going to make you a better friend. Yeah, like I'm kind of at a point where if you give me any game, I will play it. I don't have anything to play VR with right now. I really want to get into that. I'm a big
JJ was just asking. You must have saw that one.
I'm a big fiend for like rhythm games.
Oh, really? Like obviously not Beat Saber if you don't play VR, but that style.
No, I had played Beat Saber, and like that's the thing. It's like if I bought a VR machine, I would just be playing Beat Saber. But yeah,
I'm not those. I have no rhythm. I'm that guy. Or like, my sister's got great rhythm, and she'll come over and like, there's been some Mario Party, you know, games where they're like rhythm games, and you gotta like. I'm like, what is happening? Is my controller broken? Like, I've never realized that. Like, makes you feel bad. You're like, oh, so apparently I'm a person with no rhythm. Okay, I understand that now.
I mean, my mom was a
rhythm feels
teacher,
bad.
It makes it feel like it pays off when I took years of piano.
They're saying Cyberpunk is amazing on VR, so you may need to buy the headset. At least you could buy the headset.
VR? I didn't know that.
A lot of
That's
games now have VR support. It's kind of crazy.
wow. That seems wild. Yeah.
Well,
No, like
they
for
really got you on these. Now they're all talking about games. The whole chat is all lit up talking about games now. Win
it's
Blanko's
good.
VR. Silver had a question, but I don't know if you'll be able to answer this one first because it pertains to the Billies. Silver asked, let me find it. Asked if there were any differences between Billy Six Bone and regular Billy Bones. And I have no idea.
I have looked for the difference, and I don't remember if I found one or not.
So
Because I
this was a
remember
question
seeing.
that you pondered as well.
I also I know that there's like a slight difference. It's just been a really long time because I think it's like a mythical creature. It's like Sasquatch, you know, like you think you see it and you're not really sure because it's like that slight difference. And like I've like screenshotted things and I've sent them to people and I've been like, is this a Six Bones? Did someone unbox it?
I don't know. I don't think there's any Six Bones unboxed. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure they're all boxed. There's only 10, right? Yeah, there's only 10, and I think those are
yeah.
boxed. Silver, I've only seen one actually sell, and our community member Silver was the person who picked it up. They were all on sale for like $5 million, and then one day one went on sale for like, I think thousands of dollars, and he
Wow.
jumped right on it, and it's been the only sale for one of those so far.
Yeah, man. Some people are gonna be like paying their college fund with this.
That's what we're hoping. Every time we see Silver, we're like, so Lamborghini win. Like, first Blanko, can you like get a Lamborghini and like paint a Blanko on the front of it? You know, like can you be
You
that
know
guy?
what? I'm so excited for like the future of one, what people do with their money. Actually, I have a cousin who she was part of the alpha and she got a really good number. It was like a 666 or something like that.
Oh,
Um, and she like broke up with her boyfriend and then just like did this like hot girl summer thing and just spent like $3,000 on like hotels and traveling.
oh, she sold it. She sold it after
Yeah.
she broke. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I loved it. And she was like, she's not like a huge name or anything. She was just like, yeah, like you're my cousin. I'm gonna do this for you. And like very supportive, love her to death. Um, and yeah, paid off for her.
Dang, I need family
Yeah.
members that make video games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also really excited for like, you know, like couple years online. I think a lot of people are learning how to make good levels in this game. Um, and I can't wait until like they move on and get to work at a real company and then someone's like, yeah, I learned how to do level design in Blankos. Like how cool would that be?
Oh, I mean, you kind of already have seen it because I think there have been, I want to say JH Cosmic, Sylvester, and I think there's one more. I can't remember who the third person was. But those guys started as just Blankos players and builders and then worked their way in, you know what I mean? Got their maps featured, worked with Josh, and now they're contract employees. I know there's
Yeah.
3 of them. And then JDN, who was just such an outstanding community member, he's in chat right now.
Yeah.
He was just such, dude, he has been like one of the all-time coolest community members. Like there were times when he was like the only guy in my chat. It was just me and him. Like literally audience of one, and it'd be me and him for hours. He would stay and keep me company. No one else would be chatting. It would just be him and I. So, man, he has been hardcore. I always have a lot of love for my man JDN because he was there from the very beginning. But like you're saying, like it's really cool to see these folks who got their start in a user-generated game, you know, user-generated content, and it have such an amazing community that not only could people who are creating the content, but people who are cultivating the community, you know, be able to get onboarded into the project. Like I've just never heard of anything like that before. So that's out of this world.
Yeah, man. There's just so few communities around that are like really like so passionate like this, I think, and that are so connected and that are feeding off of each other. Like
Oh yeah.
it reminds me of like a very young internet, you know?
Yeah, everybody loves everybody. Like there's just a lot of positivity around the creative process. And I think it's just been really, really cool to be able to kind of funnel all that into, you know, the essence of the community and to see it, you know, I mean, me personally, I can't tell you, you know, I would stream all kinds of games, leading up to when I found Blankos, people would watch or whatever. And then I would play Blankos and people would be like, oh yeah, I'd see those same people, the same names. And then I'd stop playing. I'd go to something else. And then all of a sudden I'd see in chat, when's the next time you're going to play Blankos? We go, all right, guys, I'll play it tomorrow. And then more and more and more. Really, to me, the whole reason that so much of my content is concentric around Blankos is specifically because of the community. Because what I do is heavily driven by people, by community, by viewers, by followers, and they wouldn't let me do anything else. They were like, no, you need to stream. Like I'd be playing Resident Evil, and they'd be like, hey, when's the next time? I got a question about Blankos. How do you do the thing where you jump? I'm like, all right, guys, all right. I know you love Blankos. But it was such a cool thing. And it was almost like this weird phenomenon to see that just the ball just kept rolling and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's been really, really cool to see just what the Blankos community has been able to accomplish by kind of coming together and working together. I mean, what are some of your favorite things that you've experienced as being part of the community so far?
I love the memes. I really
The
love
memes.
the memes.
Do you have any that stand out that I may have seen? Because I'm on Twitter a bit, so I may have seen some.
Well, there's one like I love humor with like a sort of absurdist dichotomy to it. And there was someone who like put on I reposted it recently. I repost like everything that makes me laugh. From like the Blankos community at least. But someone put on the Quicks backpack, the jetpack, and they like opened it up and started flying to like the national anthem to the Philippines. And I don't know why, but like I like cackled out loud at it. But yeah, it just any like memes about the general situation just make me laugh. I don't know, memes are just like memes come and go, but they're just like little like blips in your day that just make you laugh. I don't remember everything, but I like having them around and I see all of them and I save all of them.
Oh, everybody in chat now. I guess you guys, Blankos, must have just announced the next Blankos getting released.
I know.
They're
No, Lady Ishi's been like around for a really long time. I know people have been like waiting on that one. That's a JPK one, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. There it is right there. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are super excited for this one. Oh, limited 2,000. Wow.
Ooh.
So do you buy Blankos, Mel?
I do. I used to buy them a lot in the beginning. I have had to slow myself down a little bit.
It can get pretty expensive pretty quick.
Yeah, it's just addicting, and then you like look at all the you look at like how high everything is like dropping and going up, and then you're like also I like the game of it, like the kind of game within a game, because you're dealing with the sort of like background psychology of like FOMO and like wondering like, oh, is it going to come back up? Is it going to go back down? If someone does something like mine where like we talk about it and generate hype, is it going to get more expensive or more people going to buy it? Like I love all of that stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see the whole snowball effect as people get like really, really excited, and you can see things go terrifically well, and then things go like horribly wrong. Like I don't wanna, but there are certain dog related Blankos that people bought them to try to quick flip them, and there was a very easy way to see like that it wasn't going to work out. That demand was never going to be able to keep up with supply. But that's been another cool thing to see, is like the evolution of the way the Blankos are minted and sold and the quantities. Because it seems like, it's been getting better and better, in my opinion, about like the way that whole system works. It really has come a long way since the early days.
Well, here's the other thing, like you don't lose money until you sell it. So if it's not doing well right now, just hang on to it and maybe it'll do better later on. Maybe we'll make something that goes along with it that's a companion piece, and like maybe there'll be something that the community makes it a companion piece, and you guys make a bunch of memes about it, and now it's like a thing. So yeah,
you never know. Yeah, you never know. Yeah. Well, chat, do you guys have any final questions for Mel? Because we've had her for 2 hours. We do gotta let her go. 2 hours is pretty extensive here. No one's ever gonna come on my show again once they realize he's gonna keep me on here for 2 hours. So yeah, if you guys have any final questions, let me know. Mel, do you have anything final closing remarks that you'd like to add in today?
No, I mean, I've had a blast. Thank you for having me on. I've never been able to like talk about my art to such a great depth. I'm really glad that you were like cool with keeping me here for 2 hours. It's been really cool answering people's questions. This is the most I've talked in any consecutive span in quarantine. So this has been fun. I'm really glad I drank like 3 cups of coffee or like tea because I don't think this would have worked out. But yeah, thank you so much for all the work you guys have put in. Thank you for making Blankos what it is today. Thank you for coming and playing and being part of the fashion show. It's really fun. We should do this again. This is great.
And for your final closing remarks, do you have any advice for aspiring artists that would potentially like to enter into this type of career path? Any words of encouragement?
Oh, I don't know. I've been to so many panels where like people try to give tips like this and they're all so useless.
So her advice is don't follow anybody else's advice.
It's not that, but it's like it's hard to give tips without like projecting some sort of like I earned this narcissism. It's a lot of luck. It's a lot of hard work. And like it's a lot of sacrifice here and there, but I can tell you that if you can get in, it's very, very worth it. And the only portfolio advice I can really give to someone is always have something to show off, always have something to flex. If you don't have something to flex right now, make something, because doors are opening and closing all the time, like faster than you can like even see them. And if you have something, then at least like if someone's just like looking out the corner of their eye, they'll see you and they'll see that you have something and you can grab them even before like anybody else does.
I like it. I like it. And they're all quoting you now. They're saying eat soup, it's more efficient.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, it's not untrue. Like you don't have to
words of wisdom from Mel. Eat soup.
Yep.
Chewing is terrible. Oh, wait, somebody asked this twice now. They said, "What is a cabinet man?" I've seen that question twice now, so I was like, all right, I gotta ask that one. Thanks, Max.
Cabinet man is a reference to an arcade cabinet.
Yes.
So he's like very arcade themed. And he's like the big baddie in every like your Wreck-It Ralph analogy was like pretty on the nose for that one,
Cool.
He lives in the cabinet. He's gonna mess you up. He's the big boss in every. Oh man. Oh,
it makes sense that now he's like black space with like little highlights on him. So that makes even more sense now. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, No Scope Champ says I own the #1 cabinet man. Look at that.
That's super cool.
And now you know why he's called that, so that makes it even cooler.
Oh yeah. No, like it's a lot of work to get that one. I'm really impressed that you even have the #1.
It's so hard. It is so hard. The best I've been able to accomplish, and this was, I could never do it now. I was able to get the #9 Sergeant Poppy.
Wow.
Back when because he was like the first Blanko that we could all race for.
I don't think you guys even knew that like it was gonna be an NFT, right?
Oh no, we knew.
Okay.
We were like that one released I think at 4 a.m. or something like that. So like we all were like, well, where I live, it was 4 a.m. Other place it was earlier. Like if you were a West Coaster, you were 3 hours. It was 1 a.m. for you if you were a West Coaster. So like we all like woke up. I think I may have even streamed it. Where we were like, all right, go. I did like a 2-hour stream at like 4 a.m. to get Sergeant Poppy. It was pretty cool. But those are only the super OG players will know that, because I think there's less than 400 of them that even exist.
Yeah, that's
some of that. Yeah. That's some of that old school Blankos content.
But like that's the whole like point of like this kind of stuff, right? Like these are memories that you get to build and share with like in-person friends, online friends. It's like standing in line for like sneakers at a boutique. Like
you bond with those other people that are doing it, so it is. I mean, honestly, a lot of those folks that were there that day, they're still a big part of the community today, and I still talk to them probably 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It really is. I mean, it really is an amazing thing, and I could not, overstate enough just the amazingness of the Blankos community, and just, each time we get to see another piece of the puzzle, whether, obviously the first part we all had access to was each other and the game itself. And those were the first puzzle pieces. But then we got to hear about like John, Rudy, and Jamie. Big shout out, Jamie. Jamie knows. And then also, then now we're getting to meet the artist. And it's like each piece of the puzzle just fits so perfectly that it's really making just like this beautiful picture for us all. And it's just been an absolute dream to be here for it. So big thank yous, Mel. Big thank yous for your part in all this, because obviously you've designed quite a few of the things that we all love so much. So just a giant thank you from me, and I know from the community as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. And thanks for having me around. This is like, I cannot imagine a better community. Like, I know that's like cheesy to say, but like, it is hard to accumulate lots of people who are all just really in on nerding out on this one special little thing, and to have so many people get excited about something that we all work really hard on and that we really love, like, that's really cool. There's so many other games that are made every single day that don't get the same attention, and everyone's working really hard.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yep.
I just we're all really lucky at Mythical to like have you guys.
See that community? They love you just as much as you love them. So let's just keep this big love affair going and keep making this game better and better and better, because obviously big things coming in 2022. We're all super excited. Obviously, we can't talk about anything that's coming, but I know that you guys at the team are probably just as excited as we are to see what's coming next.
Yeah.
Well, Mel, I think we'll let you go. Guys, I'm going to put Mel Chang's links in chat one more time for you. If you want to follow her Instagram or her Twitter, she's hilarious, so I recommend you follow her. And if you want to keep up with her work, you can go to melchang.com. Mel, any final words for the crew?
No, I'm good. Thank you so much, guys. I hope I see you guys again. Can't wait to see all of your Blankos that I will creep through and watch.
And we'll be waiting to see Broth Maiden Mel enter one of our matches in the very near future. So make sure you get your alt account going.
I will. All right.
All right. Thanks so much, Mel.
I shouldn't have even said that.
Well, just get some good variation of it. You're good.
All right.
All right, Mel.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks so much. Talk to you later.